Good morning. Welcome to Plus Sports on Plus TV Africa on this Wednesday morning. I am your host, Mikhail Tinubu. It's a brand new day and another chance to get some sports in your diet. So let's begin. I'm joined this morning by Sayo Oguntoye. Sayo, are you there?
I'm here. Good morning to you.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
Always a pleasure.
We both enjoy sports, so I hope we both get a good dose this morning. So, Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Mr. Sunday Dare, has urged the newly elected board of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria to remain focused and above board in their duties. The charge was given by the minister during the inauguration of the newly elected board, chaired by Chief Tonobak Okowa on Tuesday in Abuja. The minister stated that the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development will continue to support the newly elected executive in their efforts to push the AFN to new heights. In his acceptance speech, he thanked the ministry and reaffirmed his commitment to prioritizing the welfare of athletes, coaches, and officials, as well as uniting the federation regardless of sentiment. So this story, Shayo.
Yes, looking at the new board of the AFN, I think it's a new development, and I think it's something I would also like to embrace. We've had serious factions in the AFN in the past, and this one is, promising now that the factions will not cause divisions in the AFN and affect, athletics at large in the country, because athletics has actually not had its great days in late now, and so they just need to do something about athletics, and I think having a new board is a step in the right direction.
Well, a new board, as is with every new beginning, promises a better tomorrow, but are we very likely just going to be here for more of the same? Because I'm not as optimistic as many about this whole thing. What do you think?
Well, I don't want to be a pessimist here. I think let's just be positive. They have promised. They have not failed yet. So why don't you let them fail before we start criticizing them?
Well, Rosa, the newly elected vice president of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, believes the current board, led by Tony Okowa, will not repeat the mistakes of the previous board. The AFN was mired in a leadership crisis for approximately 2 years, which seemed to affect Nigeria's performance in international games. Team Nigeria was on the verge of leaving the 2019 World Athletics Championships in Doha without a medal until Ese Brume saved the day with a bronze medal in the long jump event. Nigeria's relay teams have yet to qualify for the Olympics, despite the fact that the Tokyo Olympics are less than 35 days away. Meanwhile, the AFN's entire board of directors, including its president, Tonobak Okowa, is scheduled to arrive in Lagos today for the national trials, which will determine which athletes will compete in the Olympics. 35 days to go. Shaya, are they starting behind the curve?
Yes, I want to agree with that. Don't forget, you read out now that in the last edition of the International Athletics Federation, it was not a good sign for Nigeria. We only had one bronze, just before the end of the tournament itself. It's not a good name for Nigeria, given in terms of athletics, knowing the likes of the name of athletics we've been having in the past, like the Blessing of Cabarets. I mean, we are not actually living up to expectation.
Well, you see, my worry in this situation really now is that should they fail to live up to any internal expectations, and certainly public expectations from those of us in the public, will this new board already be under so much pressure from the higher ups?
Absolutely, yes. They will be under a lot of pressure. In fact, they are under pressure right now because they have to, keep to their promises, and if they do not keep to their promises, they know critics will actually come and bite them. So they are under the pressure now to do or to perform better than the last administration.
Well, WBC heavyweight champion Tyson Fury vowed to run a quiet Deontay Wilder down as the two came face to face in an odd press conference on Tuesday, June 14th, ahead of their July 24th Trilogy fight in Las Vegas. Fury, with 30 wins, 0 losses and 1 draw, first fought former long-time heavyweight champion Wilder 42-1-1 to a draw in 2018 and took the WBC title from him in a rematch in February 2020 with a 7th round stoppage. A shirtless and upbeat Fury said that he had added one-punch knockout power to his arsenal and would flatten the American when the bell rings at T-Mobile Arena. Wilder kept his headphones on without answering any questions before the press conference in Los Angeles ended with a more than 5-minute long face-off where neither fighter spoke to the other, although members of their camps exchanged words.
I'm fighting one guy, next minute I'm fighting another guy. It's what I do. It's what I get paid to do. I get paid to beat up on people. Not a bad job, really. Yes. So, yeah, it's going to be Deontay Wilder. So, yeah, it's his turn again. Let him get another good hiding. And we'll see if he wants a 4th rematch after this one. Maybe a 7th, 10th, 72. Who knows? It might go on forever.
Why do you think that Deontay doesn't want to answer any questions up here today?
Well, number one, he's very stubborn. You know what I mean? Even though he's rededicated his life and everything to the craft, he's very stubborn. But like most legends or like most gifted people, they have their things with them.
It shows how weak of a mental person he is, and how much of the beating from the last fight has took an emotional, physical effect on his life. I was worried about Deontay Wilder for quite a while. After the defeat that I gave him, and obviously he's doing his little thing with his earphones on and he doesn't want to answer any questions. That's up to him, but I'm here to promote a fight and talk to the press, what I always do. So if Deontay Wilder doesn't want to commit to this press conference, it's not what Deontay Wilder does. So no matter how much that Malik teaches Deontay's going to do what Deontay's going to do.
That's wrong. That's wrong.
Deontay's going to do what he's going to do.
He's been doing everything I've asked him and told him to do.
Yeah, but like Mike Tyson said, everyone's got a game plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Yeah, but you're talking about as far as training. He's doing everything.
Yeah, he can do that,
more.
but in the real fight I'm talking about, he's going to do what he's going to do. He's going to revert straight back to type, 100%. So yeah, just because you both got your eardrums burst in sparring and fights, it is what it is. But as we're on the topic of ear busting, don't we find it funny that I busted both of these guys' eardrums, trainer and fighter? Crazy.
Tyson Sugar Hill.
I'm going to be aiming for Deontay Wilder's ears in the next fight. Burst. Deontay Wilder's a one-trick pony. He's got one-punch power. We all know that. Great. But what I'm going to do to Deontay Wilder this time is I'm going to run him over as if I'm an 18-wheeler and he's a human being. And I guarantee you he does not go past where he did before. Because before I only had 5 or 6 weeks of practicing what I was going to do to him. This time I've had 18 months of practicing what I'm going to do to him. So I anticipate it's going to be like an 18-wheeler running over somebody. And that's what you're going to see. I'm building my weight up. I'm trying to get up to 300 pounds for this fight. Yeah, because I'm looking for a big knockout straight away. I don't believe he's mentally, physically or emotionally involved in his fight. I think he's doing it for the wrong reasons. And when people do things for the wrong reasons, they always wind up getting hurt. So we'll see on fight night if I'm a man to my word and if I can run him over quicker than round 7. And I think I do, for sure.
Sayo, with this face-off between Deontay and Fury, I get a sense that the quiet man probably has a game plan and he's not willing to talk too much. After all, they say be more fearful of the one who's quiet. Fury seems to be making a lot of noise, and I understand that such face-offs usually have a lot of bluster involved. But do you think do you wonder if Fury is just digging his own grave with his own mouth?
Well, let me start by saying every boxer makes a lot of noise. And Fury has spoken, Wilder has spoken, Team Fury also has spoken, Team Wilder have spoken, the camps, both sides have spoken, and they are speaking very tough. I think this fight is going to be a very, very tough one. Don't forget that the last two fights between these two boxers were actually, they've lost to each other. So, which makes this third fight going to be, it can go either way. It can go either way because we can't even say it's either here or there. But I think Fury is going to have like an edge over Wilder here.
But then Fury has already gotten ahead of himself before this match was even decided because he has already made plans to face a different fighter, already believing that this fight is in the bag. Is that kind of overconfidence the kind of thing that gets you beat? After all, when your mind is on facing Joshua in the next match, when you don't even yet know the outcome of this current match, you're liable to get a punch in the face that knocks you out.
Well, one thing that every boxer has is this positivity going into a fight, and I think that is what Fury has. Wilder also has the same, and I think it's not bad if a boxer psychologically boosts up himself, saying he's going to win this next fight, and he knows the magnitude of the fight. I see this fight as a third and final fight between both because both parties will not be able to reach an agreement into getting another fight after this third one. So I think Wilder is just trying to be a Wilder, just like just like Fury also is trying to be Fury.
All right then. Champions Manchester City face a trip to Tottenham on the opening weekend of 2021-2022 Premier League season. The first fixtures will take place on 14th August, and newly promoted Brentford will host Arsenal in their first top-flight game since 1946-1947 season. Norwich and Watford, who were also promoted last season, faced Liverpool and Aston Villa respectively. Manchester United host Leeds, while Champions League winners Chelsea will host Crystal Palace. Premier League clubs were able to host fans at reduced capacity when COVID-19 restrictions eased late in the 2020-2021 campaign. It is not yet known how many fans will be able to attend the opening fixtures of the new season, but the Premier League said it was committed to the ambition of having full stadiums, including away supporters, from the start of the season. The men's and women's Wimbledon finals will become the first UK outdoor sporting events to host capacity crowds in July, while Wembley will also be able to host matches at 50% capacity, around 45,000 for the knockout stages of Euro 2020. The theme of these stories has really been that the organizers are working hard and diligently to bring in fans back into the arenas. Is this something that's too early, or are we ready to move on? London is still very much suffering the effects of lockdown from COVID.
Well, if you ask me, I don't think it is too early. I don't think it is also too late. That's why they are letting fans come into the stadium gradually. They cannot allow or risk fans at full capacity in the stadiums. And that's why little by little, gradually, fans have been allowed into the stadium. And I'm not surprised also that the EPL fixtures has come out. This is June. We're talking about a competition that will start in August. This is June. This only happens in an advanced world, not like I don't want to throw stones now at the NPFL, but I think this is just the way forward. This is just how to organize and to run a league.
Well, the Premier League opening fixtures all seem to be very exciting. But who do you think is going to start off the season with the strongest chance of winning the league at the end?
Well, looking at City's fixture first, they are playing a tricky Tottenham side who are having a lot of changes at the moment. I still think it will be between Chelsea this time and Man City. Yes.
A lot of transfers haven't yet gone through because of the current Euros. A lot of players are waiting, and even clubs are waiting until the Euros are over to assess players for purchase. There's been all this rumor about Harry Kane going to Manchester City. Are we very likely to be seeing his very first match in City colours facing his old club?
Absolutely. It's going to be very intriguing. Let's see how, if the deal comes out, let's see how Harry Kane faces Tottenham. If he scores, will he celebrate? Will he draw antics to his side? Stuff like that. And like you said, everyone is waiting for the end of the Euros to see which player switches to which club, like Raheem Sterling, like Jadon Sancho. The list is endless. So we're all waiting for the end of the Euros. Let us see which player is still unhappy after the Euros, and that can also change the face of the Premier League title race.
All right. Kawhi Leonard says he only cares about winning the NBA championship, with the Western Conference Finals simply a stepping stone for him. Leonard and Paul George each scored 31 points as the Los Angeles Clippers beat the Utah Jazz 118 to 104 to level their semi-final series at 2-2. George says he has complete trust in Leonard as they become the fifth duo since 1976 to both score 30 points in back-to-back playoff games. Head coach Tyrone Lue also praised Leonard's mentality after he made two huge plays in the win.
Stopped and looked up and said, "Oh, wow."
I mean, I don't get to see the reaction of what's on the web or social media or whatever. But I mean, Zoo showed me a clip of Embiid talking, and that's the only thing I got from it. But during the game, in the heat of the moment, I know it's a big play, but got to have that next play mentality, because right after that, I think Joe Ingles came down and hit a three, pretty wide open in that corner. So, we still got room for improvement.
Next question.
Thanks. Go to Ohm.
You might not have done enough of in Utah that you're taking back to Utah this time.
I think we kind of made shots here. Game 3 and 4, just got some games under our belt pretty much. Coming out of the Dallas series, it's a different team, different vibe, a better team. And we just gotta, see what we've been doing these last couple games and, just keep moving forward. I got to watch and talk to the guys and see what we need to do.
No, I mean, he's been feeling good, all season long. But just attacking the basket, they put a center on him a couple times in the middle of the zone, and I kind of told him to attack, told him to be aggressive, and he got kind of mad. And then the next play, he came out and drove the lane and dunked the ball over favor. So just having an attack mentality, that's what we got to do. Can't let this team off the hook. We got to make these guys defend us. We know how we want to play and what we want to do. So, we got up. We got a 29-point lead. I thought we got a little comfortable. Took some quick jump shots, some tough shots. Instead, just keep executing and keep grinding and keep making them defend us. And we'll learn from that.
Thanks,
Sayo, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are two of the fiercest players in the league. The game. The matchup is heating up at 2-2. The next game goes to who?
It's a difficult ask, honestly, but with Lennon's exploit, I think it might still go to the Clippers. The Clippers have been amazing. They were down late earlier on, but they came back 2-2. Now the scores are tied, and they're still going maybe 3-2, 4-2 for Clippers. with the exploit, not getting that is instrumental. He's been a charismatic character too for the team. I think they might just have a little bit of luck against the Utah Jazz.
Well, I'm sure I'm not the only one who favors them in this matchup. But Kawhi Leonard is a champion, a former champion of this game. He has already gotten one ring. Does that championship mentality, is it going to be the difference at the end of the day?
Of course, it is possible to have that champion mentality rub off on the other players, the likes of others who have not won a championship before, when they, interact with him, when they see how he does things, maybe in the heat of the moment, and then it can be able to influence his way into the team and, bring out positive results for the team at large. So I think, yes, it is possible. It is possible. It depends on Leonard himself.
All right. Title favourites France launched their Euro 2020 Group F campaign with a 1-0 victory over Germany on Tuesday in the 20th minute as the sluggish-looking hosts lost their opening fixture at the European Championship for the first time when a Lucas Hernandez cross was shanked into the German net courtesy of an own goal by Mats Hummels as he tried to clear it. It was a deserved win for France, as Germany never really threatened the away goal. France gradually conceded possession but remained lethal on the break, with Mbappe and Karim Benzema both putting the ball in the net, but having their efforts ruled offside. Mbappe was also denied what looked like a penalty after out-sprinting Hummels to chase down a long ball in the 78th minute. But replays showed the German got just enough boot on the ball to prevent a shot before Mbappe went to ground. Germany play holders Portugal on Saturday, while France play Hungary. The German Soccer Association and Deschamps condemned the actions of a parachutist with "kick out oil" and Greenpeace written on the back of his parachute, who flew into the Allianz Stadium before the match, briefly delaying the match and appearing to injure at least one person before landing. A camera operator appeared to have been injured in the incident, but walked away by himself with medics. This match, Sayo, I was convinced it was a penalty, and to a large extent, I'm still very much convinced. I watched the match and I could not believe that could have been given as a good tackle.
Well, controversy will always keep occurring in football, especially when it is controlled by the human. Now, you do not want to take away the human factor in every sports games, and that is why sometimes they get it right, sometimes they don't get it right. But talking about Group F in a whole, I think that is the group of death, no doubt about it. A group that comprises of Germany, France, Portugal, and Hungary, who to me would look like the whipping boys, because Portugal left it very, very late. In the last 10 minutes, they scored 3 goals. And talking about France and Germany now, I think the game did not live up to expectation because of the Germans. They were just toothless. I expected goals, but we only saw just one net shaking. That is the German net. I think the 3 top teams there will still end up qualifying. One has the best result, while the other 2 has first and second, respectively.
Well, this is the 6th game in which Germany has now failed to beat France. The last 6 games have included 3 wins for France and 2 draws. Are France just more capable at penetrating Germany? Because I seem to have this feeling during the match that Germany played a lot of good football, but they didn't play a lot of incisive football.
Yes, I want to agree with that. Over-reliance on the likes of Toni Kroos, Gundogan, yes, they are good players on their day, but the Kantes, the Pogbas, and the likes just took charge and took control over the match. And I think Germany might have it very difficult playing against Hungary now, because Hungary are wounded. They might not want to, lose back-to-back games. I think it's going to be a very difficult group, very, very difficult. It's not something you want to predict this early, but I know 3 teams will qualify out of this group.
All right. Thank you, Sayo. And that's Plus Sports. I want to say a big thank you to our caller, Sayo Oguntoye, for joining us. Sayo, always a pleasure
to have me, Mukayo.
Always a pleasure on my part as well. I am Mukayo, your host. Remember, life is never boring with some sports.